Hey guys, quick video. Been a while since I've tried these headphones, and well, I'm old, so a wired microphone, I guess, fits right in with my age. Anyhow, some of you may be paying attention to this stuff, some maybe not, and that's okay. I think there's a lot of reason why some folks are able to keep their head in the world's affairs and not let them necessarily be knocked off of their walk. Likely because there's a little bit of gifting involved in that regard. I don't go out of my way to find sensationalist nonsense, but it seems as though the Spirit allows a lot of these stories and articles and whatnot to come into my view, specifically so that I can ponder them and perhaps, if again there's a gift involved, see the underlying meaning and the warning flashing in the background for those of us who are, trying to actually discern the times instead of being led around by our emotions, much the same way the unbelieving entirety of the world is. My reasoning behind all this is recently my number one candidate for the false prophet has decided to come out and claim, somewhat reasonably so, based upon the tea leaves of the time, that with all of this unfettered immigration and the obvious takedown of the United States from the inside out, that the chances of something worse than 9/11 occurring with all of these undocumented immigrants. I don't really care what people think of what I say. The ones that come here illegally, knowing full well that what they're doing is against our rules and laws. I'm not one that gives too much credence to governments aside from their willingness or desire or capacity to bow to the Lord. But I'm also not somebody who is going to I'm not going to ignore what they're doing in terms of where it lands in God's plan. And I've said this a few times, if you follow this channel for any significant amount of time, that it's not that difficult to get the left and the right to think the same way. The left is overtly vested in everything that goes on in this world because they've essentially put all of their hopes in man and politics, and there's no reason to think that that is going to change. And really, if 2002, that election cycle was any indication, a major terrorist event on the scale of 9/11, and perhaps all throughout the country versus just in one locale like 9/11 was, would be a very, very unfortunately disastrous but simple way to get everyone kind of on the same page, on the same team. It will stop a lot of the ungodly demands that people have for their political means to be met, specifically so that they can have a strong leader focus on safety. Same thing happened in World War II. Same thing happened in every major country where a socialist or communist type dictator came to power. There was always some great occurrence that I'm certain Satan was behind, foisting in the people's laps so as to make them freak out and run in a certain direction. And it totally makes sense that the ones that are on the progressive, liberal, leftist, whatever you want to call it, I don't like using political terms except for the fact that they're pretty descriptive of what we're dealing with. And again, because Satan has done a really good job pushing Christians into the ostensibly conservative side of things, I personally am apolitical. I think they're both evil. My point is the baby Christians, the weak in spirit, the ones that don't really dig into the Word or give it credit the way that they should, or they go to a mainstream church, or they're not paying attention, they're all going to have some sort of political affiliation on the right. And some of them are even going to be outright patriots, showing that they have a divided faith between the world and the Lord. And soon after the tribulation falls upon us, we'll clearly see that the majority of those were more vested in their patriotism than they were in their faith. So this is not a call to warn you guys about the physical dangers of what's coming. I fully believe that those of us who are serious in our walk, who are growing with the Lord daily, who are putting our mental energy towards accepting what the Spirit has for us, and it takes energy. You literally have to accept the package deal that's handed to you on a regular basis. We're being set up to be his witnesses throughout all of this. And I think that those of us, again, that are paying attention are not going to have to necessarily experience any dramatic offenses to our safety or attacks to our safety, but it'll be a mental attack, just like it always is. Satan's goal is to first change your mind about Christ and then destroy you once he's garnered you over to his thinking, his faithlessness, and his love for sin. So just be ready. Babylon has to rise somehow. Unfortunately, it's being sold to us as the political good, and that we should be happy to see the type of leadership that's coming out of all of this. But there will be just as many restraints on the freedoms that patriots supposedly love to make this security state come about, that you would never think that they would compromise on, but they're going to do it, much for the same reason that the left is going to do it. Peace and safety. They want to avoid losing out on what they hold near and dear in this life, instead of accepting that the next one is what really counts. And that's his whole game. It's a shell game of psychological warfare. It's spiritual warfare if we're going by Ephesians and other places in the Bible. But the reality is this is how it plays out on the ground, and we need to be ready for it. We need to keep our cool, keep a level head, and not let this potential false prophet or any other false prophet come along and try and tell us what it is our flesh would want to hear, that things are going to be okay and that this world is savable and that the answer is somewhere on this earth, of course, being led by Satan. And that's the truth. We need to accept it. Even the shiniest politician out there, the one that seemingly has the least amount invested, the way that all the quote-unquote bad ones do, he's still, if he's not on Christ's side squarely and wholeheartedly, he is on Satan's side, or he's a puppet at the very least. So anyway, I just thought I would put that out there. Hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better with this mic. I may end up using this more often just because I'm tired of the noise in the background, and I'm sure it'll make it easier for you guys to listen. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, get ready, be in prayer, read your Bibles. If any of these lessons help, there's an entire subsection of lessons I have on this channel. Most of it's really difficult, and it's more honest than most people like to hear, but we live in a time where honesty is more and more a rarity, more and more like gold, and less just like everyday sunshine or air or dirt on the ground. It's going to seem to be impossible to find once this all gets going, and that's why we got to store it up now. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a good day, and we will talk to you soon.